Alrighty, we are live. Hey Ellie, thanks for joining. Give everyone a couple of seconds. Anyone who's able to jump on any of our platforms here with us today, and give them a few minutes to join as I finish chewing my piece of toast. So, if you're catching this on a live, for those of you that are on Facebook, YouTube, send me a message. #live. Any questions you have, any comments, any fun stuff, any shitty stuff you want to share. Same on FUD. You guys want to ask any questions, anything you want to share, go ahead and ask away. I'll pay attention to the chat and the messages in each section. So jam out. Hey, Courtney, thanks for joining. So I come here, twice a week jamming out on mindset, and I've been thinking about that a lot over there this weekend. Went to, just to catch you guys up a little bit, went to New York, hung out with my 4 online business friends. We started off in a coaching group together much earlier this year. Thanks to the fire, Ellie. We were 3 of us were clumped together in an accountability group, and then one of the other peeps came into our accountability group, and we've just formed a friendship. And we got together this weekend in New York. Created some. Hi, Ellie. I'm good. Thank you. How are you? Hopefully you had a great weekend and you're having a great Monday so far. So we try to get together from time to time. So we got together this weekend, created a whole bunch of funny videos. A few of them I've posted over on TikTok. Oh, good. Glad to hear that, Ellie. So we just had a blast and talked a little bit about, like the shifts in online business and the shifts in the platforms and all those different kind of shifts and how to overcome, some of the frustration as you're building an online business and stuff like that. So it was a great weekend. I'm feeling super pumped, super excited, super motivated. I myself have, I don't laugh at me. Most of you might, because I am completely oblivious to most of the world around me. And I'm not a curious creature by habit, so I don't. Oh, thanks so much for the key, Justine. I don't typically spend too much time like searching things out. Like I'm usually like very in the moment, right? I mean, I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. Like, they keep me busy and stuff like that. I have my own business, so I don't have too much external noise. So I recently, and again, don't laugh at me because you probably know who this is, right? I recently discovered Mel Robbins. And so, of course, when I first heard her name, I thought she was Tony Robbins' wife, right? I mean, wouldn't most people, right? But apparently she's not. So again, don't laugh at me because you probably know who she is. She's been pretty famous for like 20 years. So, but I recently discovered her on TikTok, started following her on TikTok, and as my drive, as I was getting ready to drive to New York, 3-hour drive, right? I was like, oh, I wonder if she's written any books. Again, don't laugh at me. So I got her book, the High Five Habit, High Five Challenge. I'm not sure the title of the book, but so I bought it on Audible and decided I would listen to it. But again, don't laugh at me. I thought because I needed my GPS on my phone to get to where I was going, that I wouldn't be able to listen to an audiobook at the same time. Well, again, you guys probably all know this. Apparently you can. So cool. Yay. So I discovered someone who's been pretty famous for 20 years, and I figured out that I could listen to an audiobook and use my GPS at the same time in my car. So yay. Sweet, right? Yeah, Jeremy, I absolutely love. And what attracted me to Mel Robbins to begin with, I'm such a voice person. If I like your voice, I'm going to be attracted to wanting to listen to you. You could be talking about cleaning out a horse stall, but if you have a really good, I haven't read the 5 second challenge yet. This one was the high five. I think it's the high five habit is the name of the book. I'm not 100% sure. But it's high five something. The 5 second challenge, I'm going to actually, I bought it. So I'm going to actually listen to that next. But yeah, so her voice is what attracted me to her to begin with. I loved her voice, right? And then her TikToks were great and stuff like that. And being a motivational speaker and all about mindset and habits and all that stuff, I align with her message and her teachings and all of that stuff, right? So, um, yay, I figured out by the time I got out of the end of my driveway that I could use my GPS and listen to a book at the same time. So I did that for three and a half hours because I had stopped and grabbed some lunch somewhere in a rest area and ate my turkey sandwich and listened to her and then got back on the road. So it was like 3.5 hours. And I am actually going to do her um, 5-day high five challenge. So I'm going to register for that. Um, I'm going to register that for that today. I've had a pretty busy morning so far and haven't chosen to register for it yet. I've had a few minutes, but um, I'm going to register for it after this live. So, thanks for the fire, Finn. So, if anybody has not listened to, and I'm a fan of audiobooks for learning purposes because I'm an audio learner. Thanks for the heart, Arthur. Thanks for joining, Arthur. I appreciate that. Um, if you haven't listened to her high five book, I highly encourage you to. She narrates it, so it's her voice. So if you like her voice, right? Um, and she does it in No One's Coming to Save You. Yeah, right? No one's coming to save you. You have to go out and do things to get yourself the things that you want and um in micro steps, right? So yeah, I am looking forward to the 5 second challenge. That is pretty cool. Um, so, but the cool, and now this is probably, and I'm gonna get into mindset after this, but I just wanted to share with you guys the awesome weekend that I've had. So for any of you that are new here and you're new to me, hey, I'm Colleen. I have been a licensed therapist and I have my own practice since 2006. So and as her and I've done life coaching, I've done group coaching, I've worked with the elderly, I've worked with children with all sorts of developmental disabilities, I've worked with kids with emotional behavioral stuff, I've worked with children that are in the criminal system, I've worked with adults in the criminal system. So I have a lot of experience working with people. I grew up in a small city, 30 hours north, 30 hours, sure. Hey, Jackie, thanks for joining. I grew up in a small, big city, like 30 minutes north of Boston. Grew up with people from all over the world, right? All kinds of abuse, all this stuff. So I have a considerable amount of experience, right? The thing for me that was the most profound in listening to her High Five Habit book was everything that I have done. I'm not a big researcher. I'm not a big like, oh, I wonder if there's science behind this, right? That's not the way I roll, right? Not that it's wrong. That's just not the way I roll. Um, so as she's going through her book, she's backing it up with science. And now she didn't share anything in her book that was new to me. But again, I've been in the field for 22 years, right? Even more than that at this point in time. Um, so there was nothing new. But the most validating thing for me was everything that she was sharing and everything that she was talking about is backed. by science. It's backed by research. It's backed by identifying the systems in our body that contribute to the way function, like the way we function, the way we think, how we hold on to things, why we hold on to things, like and the impact of experiences and all that stuff. So for me, it was extremely validating as a mindset coach, as an online business mindset coach, as an in-person therapist, in-person mindset, whatever label you want to put on that I do, right? Bottom line is I talk to people, we figure out what it is that's stuck in their brain and keeping them stuck in their life, and we pull it out, we work through it. I give you tools, techniques, strategies. You go and you do them. We talk about it, we move on, you set new goals, all that stuff. So whatever label you want to put on that, that's what I do. So I would highly encourage all of you to go get the audiobook for High Five Habit. I think it's a High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. It is incredible. And I'm actually on the very last chapter now. I believe I started chapter 17 this morning. And I got a little ways through it, and there were some key things in there that she was saying that I wanted to go back and actually like write down. So I stopped it and I went back to the beginning of the chapter, and I want to listen to that chapter when I have like pen and paper in hand. But highly encourage you to read that. If you want to do the challenge with me, I would love for you guys to do the challenge with me. It's called High Five Challenge. So high, High, the number 5 challenge.com. It's around the world. She's been doing this for 2-3 years now, I think. The book is fairly new. And it's so you're going to be doing the High Five Challenge with everyone that has committed to doing the High Five Challenge, but it's a very personal experience at the same time. And from what the way she explains it is there's like she sends you like a daily like I don't know if she called it like motivational, but she sends you like a daily message and stuff like that, right? So anybody who wants to do the High Five Challenge with me, I'm starting it today. I'm going to register for it right after this live, and I'm going to start it. So if anyone wants to do that with me, I would love for you to participate, and let's do that for 5 days, and let's talk about it next Monday on my live, right? Super, super cool. All right, Jackie, awesome. Super excited. So get the book. It is, if you have been trying to do something and you just feel like you're stuck, she explains it scientifically, which is awesome, right? Again, not something that I do. I go intrinsically based on like what people are telling me and all of that, and by like what just innately feels right to me. But again, it is cool that it is backed up with science. And yes, get the audiobook. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Anyone who wants to do the 5-day challenge, Jackie and I are going to do it starting today. Super excited about it. Go on High Five Challenge, high, High, the number 5 challenge.com. Register for it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And then I really encourage you. The whole book is probably like maybe 7 hours to listen to it. Again, I listened to it 3.5 hours to New York, and then 3+ hours on the way home. And then I listened to about just a half hour of it today. I stopped it because I want to go back and listen to the last chapter when I have pen and paper. So I wanted to go back to the beginning because in one of the chapters, awesome, Ellie, check it out. If you decide to do it, send me a direct message here on FUD. I would love to hear that if you're going to do it or not. That would be awesome, because that would be 3 of us. Yes. So one thing that she said, and I think it was in chapter 16. I'm not sure. Thanks, Ellie. Awesome. I think it was in chapter 16. Thanks for the fire, Clay. when she said something that I mean, I've heard it before, and I've heard it worded differently, right? And so for any of you that are following like building an online business, and you hear like build your personal brand, share who you are, like share your story, like people want to know who you are and stuff like that. She said, share yourself forward every single day. And thanks for the fire. And I oftentimes, because of what I've done for work for 20 plus years, I have been conditioned to not share any of me, right? Because the relationships I've had with people, thanks, Finn, for the fire, because in a clinical setting, when you have a relationship with someone, the service is all about them. It's not about me. It's not about anything about me, right? So I've been trained, and I tend to be a really private person anyways. I mean, I'll tell you anything, but I tend to be very private because I think just people just don't really care, right? Um, but I've been trained and conditioned for over 20 years to not talk about myself, unless, of course, I'm with my friends, right? So I like it building this online business, um, introvert personality, but working on it. Yes, Jean, absolutely. And so Jean over here on FUD says introvert personality. That also plays a role in it for me as well, because I'm definitely an ambivert. Um, and like the small talk and like the small things that you do in your life, like it's not that I don't care. I don't care. Like I don't know. I, it's a weird dynamic, and if you're not an introvert, you wouldn't really understand, or if you're not an ambivert, you wouldn't really understand. Um, I would never think to just start a conversation talking about like a really cool pair of boots that I bought, right? But if you said to me like, "Oh my God, those boots are awesome," I would talk like, "Oh my God, I found them here. Got a super awesome deal." Blah 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 blah. Like I would go on, but I wouldn't naturally offer that information, right? I hope that makes sense, everyone. Um, so one thing that many things that Mel Robbins had shared in the book. Um, Hi, Sarah. All right, you made it. Woo! So, Sarah, in case you missed it, I was talking about my weekend, and I was talking about the High Five Challenge book from Mel Robbins. And Jackie, myself, and Ellie. Ellie's going to check it out. She's going to let me know if she's going to join. Jackie said she's in, 2 thumbs up. Um, if you're interested in, it's just a 5-day challenge. It's something you do all for yourself. However, it is free. If you go on the website, high five, so spell the word high, then the number 5, and then challenge.com, you can register for it. I'm registering today. I'm starting today. So Sarah, if you're interested in doing that, I would love for you to join us, um, and let me know how, um, we'll talk about it. Uh, Maybe even me, you and Jackie can talk about it together too. But and invite, if Ellie ends up doing it, invite Ellie to talk about it. But um, so yeah, so that's what you missed. So she had said, share yourself forward, right? And I won't give away the book, but she shares something extremely powerful in her book that I very much align with. Very different situation for me, but I very much align with it. So I have lived my life with, if it feels right for me to do it, then I'm going to do it. If it doesn't feel right for me to do it, then I'm not going to do it. And that, legit, like that is every decision, everything I do in my life, I go based on my, like my intuition, my feelings, like not my emotional feelings, but my feelings, right? So her story reminded me of something I wanted to share today. Well, it didn't remind me, but it it gave me an idea of what to share today, and how powerful your mindset is, and how powerful your own intuition is, your own feelings, your own inner compass, how powerful that is. So I always knew I wanted to work with people. right? My dream was to have like this huge mill building turned into like just bedrooms, right? Have like a shared kitchen, like kind of like a big group home. Like where I live, where I grew up, there was a lot of like mill buildings, right? So my dream, because of all my friends and where I grew up, my dream was to have a huge mill building, turn all the spaces into just a bedroom, right? Just a bedroom. Have like shared bathrooms for so many of the bedrooms, stuff like that. Have a big old like commercial sized kitchen. Have like a game room. Like I wanted to have a safe haven for teenagers. Now I wanted to do this since I was a kid. Thanks for the fire, Tommy boy. Um, I wanted to do this since I was a kid. I wanted a safe place where teens who were homeless or anything like that could come and be safe and stay and be protected, go in their bedroom at night, lock the door, be safe while they were sleeping, right? Um, have food, have shelter, have people from the community that volunteered their time to, help them get ahead in life and all that stuff, right? So that was my dream when I was a kid. So when I decided that it was time for me to go to college, so when I got out of high school, everyone was like, "Oh, you need to go to college right away," blah blah. And I'm like, "No, I don't." Um, I have always been an extremely confident person, um, and I said, "No, I don't need to go to college right away. I don't quite yet know what the college degree is that I need to do what I want to do." So I was a nanny, right? I was taking care of other people's kids, loving them, playing, taking them, having fun, like experience all this stuff. And one day I just decided it was time to go to college. Went and signed up, went to college 8 years straight. Didn't I knew I needed a master's degree, right? To be independently licensed to work for myself. I knew I needed a master's degree. So, but when I started college, I wasn't quite sure what the end goal was going to look like. I just knew I needed a master's, right? Didn't know what I needed a master's in, like didn't know any of that stuff. But I also didn't look into any of that stuff as I started college because that didn't matter. I wasn't working on that yet. I needed to get, so I went back, I was out of high school 6 years when I went back to college. So I went back to a community college, right? Because I was never going to get into a 4-year college. So that's why it took me 8 years. Plus, my master's program was 3 years instead of 2 or 1. So that's why it took me a little bit longer. So I'm sharing this, and I want you to think about your journey. I want you to think about your online business. I want you to think about where you're at right now and see if you can see any similarities, right? So here I was sitting next to the pool in my bathing suit, beautiful summer day in August, and right then and there I decided it was time to go back to college. Put my bathing suit cover up on, went, signed up for college, went full time 8 years straight, right? Well, my master's program was part time, right? So, but I was just sitting there and it felt right. It felt like the right time to go. Hadn't been thinking about it, talking about it, nothing, right? Went, signed up, went, boom. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should probably just take one class. You've been out of school for so long." I'm like, "Nope, I'm taking a full load," right? So I get into, now I'm in my 5th year of college. I had my associate's degree in business. I go on after, so I did that for 3 years. So now I go on to my 4 year for my bachelor's program, right? I go in as a junior. So I had a dual degree, business and psychology, and but still knew I needed my master's. So I was in my senior year, my first semester, so the fall semester, and I still didn't quite know where I needed to go, what master's degree I needed to be independently licensed to do therapy, right? To get reimbursed by insurance companies and all that stuff. So my teacher had a class, and so now keep in mind, I knew what my end goal was, but I didn't know the definition of my end goal. I just knew what my end goal was. I knew what I wanted to do. So sitting in class, fall semester of my senior year, my teacher brings in a clinical psychologist. And there was only a couple of us in the class. It was like I don't remember what kind of class it was, but a psychology class because I had a dual degree. So he goes around the room and he asks people, what do you want to do? 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 He gets to me and, well, first he explained what he did, right? And then he gets to me and he's like, well, what do you want to do? So I told him, like, I want to work with children. I want to work with families. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, you want to be a social worker? And I was like, oh, how come? Well, if you become a social worker, if you become a licensed independent social worker, you have much more flexibility in what you want to do, many more job opportunities, all that stuff. I'm like, sweet. Looks like I'm going to get my master's in social work, right? Now, that's how easy it was for me to make that decision. Because, again, I didn't know all the steps along the way. I just knew I was on the right path, right? Because my gut told me I was on the right path. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine at the time, and she already knew her path. She knew she was going to Boston University, and she was going to get her master's from there, or she wanted to, right? Now, she had a perfect 4.0. She was the model student, right? All that stuff. However, Boston University had a part-time program that was offered like 10 minutes from my house. So I didn't have to go into the city. I was like, freaking beautiful. You took one class at a time, Friday night, Saturday morning. You went year round for the first 2 years, and then just a normal school year, the third year, right? And you had to do like an internship and stuff like that. I was like, sweet, looks like I'm going to Boston University. Everyone is like, well, you need to get accepted. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'll get accepted, like, because that's where I'm going. And everyone kept saying, like, well, you should probably apply to more than one school because, again, you need to get accepted. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going there. Well, I don't understand I don't understand what the point is. Like, I am going there, right? My mindset, my intention, my vision, whatever label you want to put on it, my mantra, my manifestation, like whatever label you want to put on it, I knew I needed a master's, right? From the day I started college, I knew I needed a master's. Didn't quite know where I needed to go, didn't quite know what master's I needed, right? Knew I needed a master's. So when that teacher sat down and jammed with me and asked me all the right questions and said, this is what you need to do, beautiful. I want to go to a part-time program. I don't care if it takes me 3 years. I've been in college full-time for 5, right? I loved what I was doing for work. I was a nanny. It fit into my life. It gave me all the flexibility. I spent every summer at a pool for 10 years. Who the hell doesn't want to do that, right? I brought them to theme parks and the beach, and like, that was beautiful, right? So I applied to Boston University. I applied to the one school, right? Oh, thanks, Justine. I appreciate that. And I get in. Everybody was just, they weren't really amazed. The people that know me, they weren't really amazed. They're like, of course you get in, right? That was the only option. That was the only option. I wanted the part-time program, 10 minutes from my house, and I didn't want to have to go into Boston. All the other schools were either Salem State, which has a beautiful social work program, or all the other schools were in Boston. I didn't want to travel back and forth to Boston. What the hell? No way, right? No way. So I get in. So I spent 3 years working on my master's, one class at a time, Friday night, Saturday mornings, and graduated, put in my 2 years, worked under someone who was licensed. So now my end goal was to work for myself. I didn't want to be an employee, and I wanted to work with people, children, families, adults, groups, all that stuff, right? That was my end goal. So the day after I became licensed, so I had my independent license, meaning I did not need to work under anyone who was licensed, right? I could do it all on my own. The day after I got my license, I had my first private practice client. They were waiting for me. They were waiting to start therapy from a referral from someone who had worked for me, who had worked with me, they had private insurance. So they waited months until I took my, now there was no guarantee I was going to have my license, right? Well, you would think. I went in there, I'm going to pass. Not even an option, right? It's not an option to fail. That type of thinking, Mel Robbins explains these systems within us that create our ability to make that possible. You could call it determination. You could call it confidence. You could call it whatever you call it. You could call it your mindset. You could call it your motivation. Whatever you want to call it. If you are committed to doing something, you are going to do and live every single day as if the alternative is not an option. That's the power of your mindset. Now, that's honest to God, that is a truthful story about how I went from, I was a nanny, right? Spending the summer at the pool, going to the beach, enjoying life with other people's kids, getting paid to do it, right? I've been babysitting since I was 10. Loved, loved, love kids, right? That is the power of, now they have vision boards that you do, like journals, like all sorts of different tools, techniques, and strategies that you can use to work towards your goals, right? But living every single day as if that goal is within reach is what's the most important thing. And I've jammed on this before for online business. It's focusing on the process and not the end result. Because if you focus just on the end result, every single day that you don't achieve that end result, you're going to feel defeated. However, if every single day you're sharing yourself forward, you are living and doing your steps as if that goal is right there and you can grab it. That's what's going to get your end goal to be achieved. Hope that makes sense for everyone. So it got me thinking as I was listening to this book, right? It made me think of that. It made me think of my journey to my master's degree. And I'm like, so I won't give the book away, but in chapter 16, if you read the book, if you listen to the audio, chapter 16 is what made me think of my journey and how much it aligns with hers, right? Another cool thing, right? So, because I feel like after listening to this book, I kind of know who she is because she does a great job weaving in her personal story, which is her personal brand, right? How she has used in her own life what it is that she's teaching other people or sharing with other people and the outcome it had, right? So everything in that book reminded me of everything I'm doing in the online space is sharing who I am, sharing what I'm doing, sharing the results that I haven't done too much sharing with the results that people achieve when they work with me. I need to do a better job at that. Again, that's, just something I need to work on, something I don't actively do all that much. And I really should, because I've helped a lot of people over 20 plus years. And I've helped a lot of people overcome a lot of stuff. I've helped a lot of people achieve a lot of stuff. So I do need to improve sharing that stuff with you guys. So the power of mindset. One of my favorite word in the English language is tattooed on me. Can you see it? Intention. Can you guys see it on FUD? Intention. I've had that tattoo for a very long time. And the reason why it is my favorite word is it's applicable to anything and everything you do. And I believe that if you focus on your intention, it's almost like a brake pedal to your behaviors, to your actions, to what you might say. It brings awareness to your thoughts, right? So I hope you all join the 5-day challenge with me, with Mel Robbins. Again, it's free. Go online, register. She says you get really cool messages from her every single day. You can share your story and you can read people's story from around the world and the profound effect that it's had on people and the mindset shifts and all that stuff, right? So I'm super excited to do that. Again, I'm going to register for it after this live. So going back to intention, I just want to plug that in a little bit more. So going back to intention and how it can actually be like a brake pedal to your thoughts, to your words, to your actions, to your behaviors, to your choices, right? So how it can be a brake pedal to your thoughts. If your mind has the sneakers on and they're running in 50 different directions, you can grab them all up mentally and say to yourself, what do I intend to get out of letting my mind control me right now, running in 50,000 different directions? What do I intend to achieve with this? Great question, right? If you are having a conversation with someone and it's on the tip of your tongue, right? Your unwanted thoughts are in there, right? Your unwanted things that you might want to say. We all have them. We all want to tell everyone to just shut the fuck up sometimes, right? Because whatever reason, or say some really mean things to people. We all do it, right? It's just it's automatic. It's what you do about it that matters, right? Um, how you thinking about intention can help you grab your thoughts, right? A lot of times nowadays. Absolutely, Tommy boy, right? But again, think about your thoughts. What do you intend to get out of letting your thoughts like spring off into a million different directions, right? What do you intend to get out of what it is that you're going to say? Do you intend to hurt someone's feelings? Jackie, you have a lot of those shut the fuck up thoughts. Um, um, do you, if you're going to say something, do you intend to be hurtful towards someone? Do you intend to be mean? Do you intend to hurt their feelings? What is your intention, right? Practice this. Practice this for the next week. What is your intention? What do you intend to get out of your thoughts? Doing this sort of stuff, right? What do you intend to get out of what it is that you're going to say? So there's the brake pedal on your mouth, right? What do you intend to get out of the behaviors that you're doing? Now, here's how intention can help you become super aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. So you go and get gas, right? And you're feeling a little particular way and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and get a Snickers. What's your intention? Are you emotional eating? Are you self-sabotaging because you've been on a ridiculous deprivation food intake that no human should ever endure? So all you could think about is Snickers, 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 Snickers. I want a Snickers. I want a Snickers. I want a Snickers. Right? So what is your intention by the actions that you're getting ready to take. So that's how you can use the word intention in your mind, in your daily life, to really start sharing yourself forward, being purposeful in the steps that you're taking daily that are going to get you the end result that you want, that you're working for, but it's also going to eliminate almost 100% the defeat, the failure, like the negative things that you're going to say to yourself when that end goal isn't achieved every single day, right? Because if if you want to lose 40 pounds, you're freaking not going to lose 40 pounds today. So why focus on that? If you want to do $1,000 worth of sales today, right? But you don't have a conversation with anyone, and you don't put the product in front of anyone, and you don't work on your business, you're not going to achieve that. You're going to feel like a shit failure at the end of the day, right? Don't focus on the end goal. Focus on the micro wins, the process, the intention that you're doing every day. Share yourself forward. Get Mel Robbins' book, The High Five Habit, High Five Challenge. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's the High Five. It's the one that's High Five. Listen to it on audio. I love her voice. It's what attracted me to her. She's got an amazing voice. Again, if you're coming in now and you didn't hear the beginning of this live, I thought she was a new discovery. I was like, I found Mel Robbins. I'm always last to the table because I just don't get out in the world and educate myself about everything out there, right? Apparently she's not. She's the #1 sought after motivational speaker in the world, the highest paid in the world. And I thought I found someone cool, right? So you're welcome, Andrew. Yeah, Jackie, I love that too. I love the way that she phrased it. Share yourself forward. And actually, I think I actually paused the recording. And yes, I did discover that she had a podcast too. I will be listening to her podcast. I'm kind of like I don't really, Oprah is my most favorite famous people that walks the planet, closely followed by Maya Angelou. I love, um, I just love Oprah, right? And I didn't even realize that I was watching her build her personal brand all the years that I watched the Oprah show, right? I didn't miss an episode. Um, I never, it didn't dawn on me until I started doing this business that she was building her personal brand all those years, sharing a little bit more of herself, sharing a little bit more of herself, sharing a little bit more of herself. So that was really cool. So yeah, I'm going to be checking out Mel Robbins' podcast as well. So, all right. So those two things. So if you're going to join the High Five Challenge, Jackie, I know you're in. Sarah, I think, said she's going to check it out. Ellie said that she's going to check it out. Anyone that's still with me here on FUD, if you want to do the 5-day High Five Challenge with me, it's free. Just go to the5challenge.com and register. I'm starting today. I'm actually going to register in like 2 seconds when I get off this live. Yeah, so I also started a 30-day content creation challenge with myself that I'm going to do. So I will let you guys all know 30 days from now how that worked out for me. So for short form videos. So yeah, so that's my thoughts here on Monday. Thank you for everyone who jammed out with me today and hung out with me today. If you are catching this through Facebook or YouTube and you're catching the replay, just let me know. that you caught the replay. Let me know any feedback that you have. Again, today was just my sharing myself forward a little bit and sharing myself a little bit of my journey as to how I got um, where I am today. Holiday blues, no, 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 no holiday blues. Um, so yeah, so I will see. Oh, thanks, Jackie. I appreciate that. So I will be back on Thursday at 1 o'clock, and yeah, so we'll see what swirls in my brain then, and then I talk about on Thursday. But thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Jackie, Andrew, Sarah. Let's see who else was here. Facebook user, random Facebook user. Sorry, it doesn't show your name. Jeremy, Courtney, really appreciate it, everyone. And I will see you guys all later.